Hello, everyone, and welcome to another rendition of our Solid Edge with Team Center Customer Enablement Series. This will be the part 2 of our first Team Center webinar, but if you missed the first one, that's okay. It's posted on our YouTube channel, and also this one is just a little bit more obviously having to do with Solid Edge. So we hope that you find this very informative. We have Jason West here, one of our senior applications engineers. But first I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Customer Enablement Series. This series is something that we have started this year. It's been very successful so far. We have it the first and third Thursday of every single month, and it starts at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so you can always just know that we will always be here at 11 a.m. first and third Thursday of every single month. We cover many different topics, usually about 30 minutes. Sometimes we go a little over, sometimes a little under. And we just lead by subject matter experts. And we really have, different developers, different guest speakers, power users. So if you have any suggestions for future webinars or tips and tricks, sessions that you'd like to see, please let us know. So far, we've covered things like FEMAP, Solid Edge, NX, Team Center, and more. And you can find all of those Customer Enablement Series webinars and trainings on our YouTube channel. And really what the goal of our Customer Enablement Series is just really to help you get the most out of your Siemens PLM software. Sometimes people, get new software and they only use it for the couple of things that they need every single day, and there's lots and lots more tips and tricks to learn out there. So we just hope to be able to give you those so that you can utilize them in your day-to-day. And then also just to share knowledge. This is an open forum, so if you have any comments or questions, I'll interrupt Jason while he's talking, and I can ask him right that moment. So and really, this is just here so that we can build a community and that you all can kind of bounce ideas off of each other as well. And like I said, for questions and comments, please feel free to go down to the chat box at the bottom of the panel on the right-hand side. Type anything in there that you like, and I'll be happy to pop in and ask Jason any questions that you may have. And if you need anything else further, just let me know, and we'll be in contact with you after the webinar. And with that, I would like to introduce you to Jason West. Jason, take it away.
All right, thank you, Andrea. All right, so today we're going to be discussing and really looking at a three-part series here, talking about Team Center. This portion we're going to take a look and dive into what the CAD user, designer, engineer would be using on a daily basis, looking around, seeing inside of Solid Edge how we can utilize having access to Team Center, storing our data. So we'll take a look at searching. I know I was a mechanical engineer for many years. I would dread going and have to look for a print either in the vault on paper or trying to search my network drives to try to find something that was used possibly by somebody else, in a past design. So moving forward, getting into a data management system, you can really leverage a lot of the information that's built into the CAD models. So we're going to take a look at some searching and how we can search and expand upon that, looking at revision rules and how we can pull up different information from the revision rules to make sure we're getting the parts that we're looking for. Then we're going to take a look at revising parts and assemblies from within Solid Edge. We're not going to spend a lot of time in Team Center in the rich client. I'm going to bring it up just so we can kind of discuss what we had used in the first part of this series, but we'll be focusing mainly on Solid Edge, and maybe we'll take a look at Word, the Team Center integration for Word, if our Office products as a whole, if we get a chance here. Then we're going to look at the where use. So when we are making revisions, how can we make sure that we're identifying where these components are used at, as well as utilizing the draft files that we've already created for our older revisions and moving those forward. And then a common question I get is being able to check in a document but leave it, or checking in documents, updating documents. So updating a document, I can update it to Team Center but keep it open on my workstation, just so maybe a colleague needs to take a document and start working with it. May not be complete with it. You don't want them to make any changes, but you want them to have the latest and greatest of what you have. So if you were a part of the first series, we took a look at why we need a data management system, and what else is involved in the change, right? And that even comes down to the designer. When we're looking for a document to reuse or understanding some of the changes, having a data management system really helps us and helps identify some of these other areas as well. And the reason and how we can take a look at this information is, if you remember, we had a product. The product was called IT, and we had all these documents that were attached to it. But we're going to focus more on the actual information that's within the parts. So those will be the attributes or the metadata that we'll be possibly searching on to help us find that information. So to understand what we're going to be looking at here is we're going to be focusing over here on the right-hand side. So we have our product ID that we're going to be doing a lot of searching on, and then the revisions, right? The revisions kind of really come into play because we need to be able to make sure that we're looking at the correct revisions, and we understand if we have the latest revision or if we're looking for all revisions, so we can kind of take a look at previous designs to see why changes were made over the years. So again, we're going to be focusing on the portion of just the integration today. So again, this is a multi-part series, so we'll be looking at other areas of Team Center, looking at, our first was kind of setting off the workflow, identifying that there was a change that needed to be made, identifying the workflow, setting up the workflow. Now we're looking at the CAD integration, so I'm going to go in and actually make some changes, and we're going to really dive into how to use those tools. And then the third part of the series is going to be looking at coming back into the Team Center side and how we can process those changes and make sure that everything was completely added to it, do some comparisons, and kind of evaluate what's going on, and then releasing the documentation into the production environment. So like I said, today we're going to be looking at searching, revising parts, updating revisions and drawings. So we're going to really take a deep dive into that and see what we can do here. So first thing I'd like to talk about is just right here at the main screen. If you're not a Team Center user today, you're not going to see any difference here other than the word Team Center. And what that means is we know that we are linked to Team Center right now. When we go to start looking at parts, we'll log in with our user data and be able to search on our documents. For those that work in a mixed mode, so sometimes you may have to work outside of Team Center, it's easy to come up and go to the managed environment and toggle Team Center off. And that's native mode, file server side. You really want to stay in Team Center as much as possible, but if you need to do something outside, for some reason, maybe it's you're working on break-ins, personal project, and it's not going inside of Team Center, you can easily go up to the application button, go down to manage, and toggle between Team Center and the native software. So now that I know that I'm in Team Center, I see it right here on my splash screen, and then throughout I will see it up here at the top, so I know that I'm in my Team Center integration. File open or file new. Let's take a look at file new first. So we're going to have potentially have our templates set up here. We're going to go in and start creating new parts. Nothing is really different here, right? We go in, we start making our drawing. You know, we have our part here, we keep working on it. But when we go to hit save, this is a little bit different dialog box than what you would have seen. It would just, you know, save, ask you what location, what file name you want to put on there. We have different data here that we can take a look at. So let's break this down here so we understand what's going on inside this box. I'll drag these out here a little bit so we can see. So we see the current state of the part. It's just at a default. We want to upload this document into Team Center, so this action, if this part had already been saved, will be an option that we can make a change. What are we creating? We're creating an item. So inside of Team Center, we're creating items that have an item revision. So we need to pull the next number in Team Center as our unique identifier. It will assign a revision, and these little asterisks here are mandatory fields. So these fields have to be filled out. Now we can change the revision and we can change the name of the item, but the unique identifier is going to be pulled from the Team Center environment. We can also name the data set, put a description in there, and also, most importantly, where do we want to store this data? So I'm going to create a new folder and call this motorcycle changes. And you'll see here we have a motorcycle inside of our products that we're going to be working on. So I just want to create a new folder so I can manage where that folder's at. And if I, again, we're not going to go into Team Center Rich Client, but so you can see what's going on the Team Center side, you'll see, need to refresh it. Oh, I haven't saved it yet. Once we go in and save this, we'll see that it'll create this inside of the Team Center environment. So next thing I want to do is I want to go in and auto-assign our part number. Now, with Team Center, you can build intelligent part numbers in your system. So this is a Team Center Rapid Start deployment. So I have some questions that I need to answer to help build my part number. So is this going to be a component part, assembly, electronics, or a drawing? So it's going to be a component part. Machine type, it's going to be a B type. I can assign the number, and then dimensions. You know, if I had something else here, I could put that in there. But I have my main part of my number. So you can see that it auto-identified a new part number for me. It put an A revision as my starting revision. I know some companies use a dash, or their initial release is a non-identified number or a non-identified letter or number. I recommend using an A as the initial release. Just makes it easier to be able to keep track of it in the system and utilize the software. And then name, by default, it's going to put the part number in there again, but we can add notes of what this is. This may be something for the fork. Got my data set, got my name of item, my item revision, and my unique identifier for that item. So when I go and say, okay, go ahead and create this, it has now pushed this up to Team Center. If I do a refresh here, refresh on the home, it may take a minute here for my my server to, oh, no, it's not going to. I remember when I was setting this up, I was still logged in as the engineer. So I am logged in as CAD guy on this system, so I need to make sure that I'm actually logged into the correct one. And in your day-to-day, you would have only one login. I'm kind of running a series here, so last time I was the engineer working on the product, so this time I'm the CAD guy. That's why I didn't create the folder earlier or show my part going in. So we'll log in real quick and be able to show that on the Team Center Rich client side. Okay. So now I see I have my motorcycle changes in there. I have my container, which is my 35,000 or 350,000 part number. And then inside there I have my A revision with my solid edge part. And I see that I currently have it checked out, which I do. So once I'm done making my changes to my part and I close, I will have another, if I've made any changes since I've saved it, I would have another window that came up that would ask me if I wanted to change or close that. So let me go and just make a quick edit here. Okay, so when I go to save this, yes, I want to save it. I get the CPD window that comes back up. It says, do I want to check this in, or do I just want to update the document and continue working on it? In this case, I actually want to check it in and exit that, because now we're going to start looking at some searches. Then if I come back over here and refresh this, give it a second here. Yeah, you see that the document is now checked in. There's no checkout value. It's not checked out to anybody. So that was creating a new part, assigning a part number, assigning a revision, being able to change the revision, change the item name, and assign where that document's going to go. Let's say I know I have a part out there and I want to be able to go and search on it. One, maybe I've searched for this part before, so I look at my recently searched items and I see that I have a few parts here that are open. Now, I have some options, so I don't have to go down and click on the revision that I want. I'll look at here and see, am I taking, well, one, what am I showing? I'm going to show all revisions, or am I just going to show the latest revision? Latest released revisions, latest released are the latest 3. And then if I come down here for my revision rule, how is it actually going to open? I can open any status that's not working, or any status that's in a working status. And these statuses, you'll have a system of statuses that you understand with your Team Center deployments. So you may have different statuses in here for working, obsolete, precise only. Precise only is going to be the latest released. But you'll understand what these are in your Team Center environment. If you don't have Team Center, the default is a document that is not in working status, so it's just open and saved like that first one that I did. Or we put a working status on that it's in process. It may have a status of in review. You may also have a status of released. So depending on how you have this set is which one of these files it'll open when you just click on your item container. Or if you know exactly which item that you want to open, you can go ahead and pick that revision and open that particular revision. So next thing I want to do is, that's opening a file, but maybe I'm not sure where the file's at. So I actually want to go and search for a file. So I want to go in, I'll set this to latest, and then I come over here to my search button. Let's clear that. So when we go in to look at searching, what do we want to search for? Do we want to search on item IDs? Do we want to search on parts? You can see all the different attributes and metadata that you can search on. So you can really build a strong, robust search criteria. So I want to search for part, and I'm going to search for part number. So part number, all I remember is 105. If I wanted to keep building up searches, I could keep adding features, but I know there's something in the part number here that I want to search on. So when I go out and search, I get anything that had a 105 in it. So I can see PE series, that's definitely not what I was looking for, but this ST series was what I was looking for. I want the latest working document. I can choose to open this as a small, medium, large, or let it auto-select. And what this does is this is going to set whether it's going to hide all the components. Are the parts going to come in inactive? So if I say this is a medium assembly, are the parts going to hide? No. Parts are going to come in inactive. If there's any simplified parts, nope, it's going to use them as designed. But if there's sub-assemblies that have been simplified, we're going to simplify those. And then any active changes, we want it to automatically update instead of prompt. If we go to large, and this is how we deal with large assemblies and large assembly management, we can get in here and say, over on a large size, yes, we're going to hide components, we're going to inactivate, we're going to use simplified. We're not going to automatically update. We're going to prompt that we have parts that are updated, so this allows it to open quicker. And then also we can open to a specific configuration if we know what those configurations are. A lot of times, and this can all be set in your Solid Edge options of when these rules apply with how many parts are in this particular part. When it's set to auto select, it's looking at those values that are in your Solid Edge options. So I think under 50 parts is going to open it as small, 50 to 1,000 is going to be medium, and then 1,000 plus, 1,001 plus is going to be a large assembly, or whatever you've set for your criteria. We can open it as read-only, and then we can also add notes of why we're opening this file. So I'm going to go ahead and open this because we're going to take a look at some revisions. Another thing I want to point out here is because we're in a managed system, we can see what's checked out to us and what may be checked out to others. This is great to know that I can't go in and change these components because somebody else is already working on them. I see that this assembly is not released. So first thing I want to do is I want to go and make a new revision of this. So we've got an A revision now. I'm going to go out, hit new. It automatically knows that it needs to take it to a B revision. And I can go ahead and hit OK. You'll see that this will change from an A to a B. for this fork assembly. I want to go in and make a change to this particular part here. I do see that this part is released. So when we see that, we've got a couple options. We can do a save as, so maybe this part isn't fit form function correct. Or I can go into the revise and make a revision. So that's actually what I want to do. Now, first thing I want to do here that I didn't do with the last one, but I should have, is I want to go out and see, you know, if there's any other documents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my tools, or I'm going to go to my, where is it? Where did I put it? Now I'm forgetting where I put stuff, because I move stuff around here. Okay, well, I'm in this part, so I want to hide this, and then I want to go and make a revision to it. So I'm going to go into my revise. I want to create a new, but when I went out and did the new, and that's what I was looking for, but when I went out to create a new, it also recognized that it had a draft file. So it's not just going to go and just up-rev the part, it's going to up-rev the drawing as well. So when I go out there, I'm going to make this change. Let's see what I'm going to change on this. Oh yeah, I'm going to move this hole 15 millimeters, because that's what our change was if you attended the last class. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. See, everything in the assembly looks good. So what I need to do now is I'm going to highlight this part, and I'm going to do a where used again on this. I see that, okay, there's my B revision. So I'm going to go ahead and open that B revision up right from inside the assembly. So I don't have to remember, I can just know as soon as I get out of finishing that part, I can go in and automatically update that drawing. I see that my drawing's out of date, I update it, I add any notes I need to change, I can verify that my changes are correct, right, with my drawing tracker, my dimension tracker. I can see that 15 millimeters were added to that value, so that's correct. Make any changes I need to here, save that, close that out. Again, do I want to check it in when I'm on my close? I go ahead and say yes. And I have made my change, so I've up-revved my assembly. You see now I have this part checked out because I haven't checked it in, right? I have it currently open. Then when I go ahead and close out everything, everything will get checked back in. I'm checking in the assembly, I'm checking in my parts, and I'm able to continue on with the rest of my day. So taking a look at what we had here. So, you know, while we're doing our day-to-day, and it's not that much of a difference from how we would save in a file server, but we do have some more flexibility that we don't really have to worry about going outside. We don't have to go into Revision Manager or Structure Manager, as it's called now. You know, we're doing it all from our CAD system. We're able to navigate without having to go into, you know, Team Center, rich client, right? Because some people don't feel comfortable going into the rich client. They want to be able to stay in their native systems. And we have, you know, the integrated revision and release process. So I'd like to thank you kind of wrapping up the session here. Definitely come back for the third series where we get back into the rich client and take a look at how we can interrogate the changes that have been made. So you'll see back in Team Center, somebody else on the team, what they would do with the changes as I made them here. So please stop back by and
thank you. Great job, Jason.
Really
appreciate it. Great job. Yes, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us you can reach out to me directly if you have any questions, marketing@saratech.com. And our next free online training is going to be on NXCam, and that will be Thursday, March 2nd at 11 a.m. right here. You can find that on our events page right on our website. That's www.saratech.com or saratecinc.com. Either of those work right now. And we appreciate you all joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on future webcasts. Have a great day.